What up, YouTube? As always, thank you for watching these videos. You know, if you can relate to it, I appreciate it. If you like, comment, and subscribe, turn on that notification bell. And yeah, I talk about real topics, man, until I get, on the comedy stage and start getting into my street interviews. I'm going to be doing a lot of these videos, well, a few of these videos on my way to work. I go by Bel Air 316. Yeah, as the title says, let's get straight to it. I would recommend any man that's in his 30s, or especially early 30s, to not immediately, let's say I would recommend a man from 28 to like 35 to not immediately get into a relationship. And I'm not saying that in a way that women are bad or anything. That's not what I'm saying at all, because I know a lot of women are going to look at the title and be mad. But let me at least explain what I mean. And when I'm done explaining, when I'm finished with the video, I'll really appreciate it. I'm a confidential person, meaning when I give advice, when I talk to people, I never put people's business or name out there. However, if I talk about the same topic and if people go through the same things, that's when I'll make it into a video, because it turns into like education and like things that the world needs to hear, and when people could relate to it, and like once information is shared, people could move differently or heal differently and make more informed decisions. Yeah, so I'll recommend any man that's 28 to 35 to not immediately get into a relationship. And the reason why I say that is because it's a high chance that you might end up hurting a good girl that you might really like. And it doesn't necessarily make you a bad person, but just with how things are right now, at this time and age, like where the world is right now, how social media is, I see like 90% of the time it doesn't work out. And I put this on YouTube because I want you guys to comment. If you comment in the comment section, so we could collect data. Comment if you agree, if you disagree. Comment if you've been through or been in a situation. But yeah, so one of the main reasons I wanted to do this video is of course, like, educate, inform, but also to like try to say why I think that is. Personally, I never been in a relationship. It's not that I'm against it at all. I'll love to be in it, but like I'm comfortable living the life I am right now until like I settle into myself, and until like I find someone that matches my niche, if you will. But I want to explain to men, to especially young men, why your relationships, like why your mind is doing that to you at age 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. Like, why you're not a bad person, but you're going home and you're being mean to your girl or whatnot. Let me say again, you're not a bad person, I will hope you're not being like abusive, and especially not physical. But you gotta understand that you're at that age, you're a total different person than you were in your 20s. You're a total different person than who you were in your 20s. And statistically, more than likely, you're just now settling into being a man, like being into your new role. Like you're settling into being into a new role. And with new roles and with like more or less responsibility, what you like enjoy doing, what you like, and even who you liked, that could change. That could really change. I see that happen a lot. I'm not talking about me because I've never been in a relationship, but if I was in a relationship, statistically, this may happen. I move differently, so I'm gonna leave myself out of this, because I'm an observer. Like I move. I would hope that I move calculated, but I know a lot of men get into relationships at like these 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, and 35. And you know, a lot of them, they end up hurting girls that they don't want to hurt, or they never meant to hurt, or they never could have even imagined they'd hurt this girl, you know. And it could be, like I said, it could be a good girl. It could be a really, really good girl that's doing everything she can, and he could be a good guy that's doing everything he can. But it's only so long. It's only for so long that you could run away from the new you. Like, it's only so long that you could ignore that, and you're going to have days where you, and like I said, everybody comment if you think I'm lying. Like, I want people to see in the comments. I'll never put your name out there, but if you are one of the people, you know, that's been through this, that I talk to, that ask me for advice, if you could comment, I would highly appreciate it. It's a lot of people that think that I make these things up, or if I don't know you, you've been through some things like this. Statistically, you more than likely have. I'd love for you to comment, you know, just so like younger people or people your age could see it and you know, relate to it. But yeah, it's only for so long that well, first let me say this: you're adjusting into your new role as a man, and you probably just finished school. You getting settled into a career, or you probably been into a job where you just settling in, or you realize something that you didn't realize in your 20s, and like you hit a change in your mind, you know, whatever it may be, and that change in your mind is require you to change people that you're around. And I know that's a touchy subject, and that's why I'm careful with relationships, because I understand that sometimes things change, and I never want to be one to hurt somebody, man. Even if it means like even if it means I gotta like risk a relationship, but I never want to be one to hurt somebody. But yeah, once you hit that different road, you become a new you. Everybody's a new person every 3 to 5 years at least. You know, you gotta assess that new you, because if you don't, you're going to be living in a reality that, our chances are that you might live in a reality that worked for you 3 years ago, but it doesn't work for you now, and you're going to be prone to coming home being mean to your girl, being aggressive, and you might potentially harm someone if you ignore those feelings or emotions, or you might potentially harm her. And that's one of the priority reasons I'm making this video, because I don't want no one to be harmed. Especially, I don't want no man to harm no woman because, you know, he changed, because his emotions are different, and he doesn't know how to explain it to his girl. Or he might be in a relationship where he's in a marriage, and that's why marriage is risky, especially early on, because, you know, when you change your mind, again, I'm not talking about me, I've never been married, I'm just talking about, you know, the constant people asking me for advice, or the constant stories that I hear. But when you're in a marriage and you change your mind and you can't do it, and you feel like tied into it, it could be mentally harming, man. It could be mentally destructive, you know. And you know, if you can't do what you want to do, you might want to do something that doesn't make no sense, but you internally just want to do it. Or you might want to do something that makes a lot of sense, but you internally want to do it but can't do it. And whatever it is, chances are you might look at it different than what your spouse, your wife, your girl at that same age might look at it. Like, you guys and women have to understand that women at that 28 to 35, and especially like older, they have a clear image of what they want to do now. Like, they're more into like that settling down stage. Like, they know what they want, they know what they desire, and it's more comfortable for them and it's more convenient for them, and that's understandably so. But it's more convenient for them to you know, stay with that same person, and that make it work, and let's stick through this together. The chances are that's how their mind is, and that's okay. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. However, I realize that guys and women think more differently than I even thought and I always knew they thought differently, but they think more differently than I even thought. Because a guy at that 28 to 35, like I said, he's at a different dynamic in his mind, where he's thinking totally different, and that's why these clashes happen, and that's why people, go through things, and like the man or the woman might end up harming each other if they don't understand this, if they don't talk about it, if they're not coming to a mutual compromise, if one want to say goodbye or the other doesn't. It could cause a lot. It could cause harm. It could cause one person or even both people to be admitted into mental homes, to be prescribed on psychotropic medication, to be whatever. Some people might go to jail because of harm of that situation. Divorce, you might be in and out of court. Problems with the kids if you have kids. But yeah, that's what I realized. It's people that I wanted to really, really work out, that I was like, man, this is one of the 10% that I think is going to work. And then like it doesn't work out with them, and that kind of hurts me, because I wanted to have that hope that that I'm wrong. As a man, you kind of want to be wrong on some things you observe, because like we don't want to be right on what we observe all the time, because like, man, we understand that we can't lie about the truth, because if we lie about the truth, we're going to live in a dangerous future, So I say that to say, like, I wish that I was lying about this. I wish that I was wrong about this, but the numbers are not lying, and it's people that I thought was going to be like the 10%, but 90% is higher than 10%, and it's a 90% chance that these things are going to happen at this day and time. I'm not saying it's going to happen with everybody, but I realize I keep a small circle, but like people go out of their way to speak to me, I highly encourage it, because I am trying to get into that Arthur title, YouTube host title, and talk about things that matter. So I don't mind when people come tell me about their personal life. But yeah, man, like I believe that men should take their time at 28 to 35, because take their time and not jump into a relationship at 28 to 35, and especially younger than that, because like when you turn 28 to 35, you're possibly going to change your mind and end up hurting somebody that you never meant to hurt, that you never thought you were going to hurt, and you might honestly waste her time, man. And just like how guys know when a woman wastes her time, that shit probably hurts or something, or that shit probably is very inconvenient. You guys wasting a woman time, that's also, like I said, I'm not calling you a bad person, but you gotta understand, like, if somebody wastes your daughter time, as man, we know. I didn't even have to tell you, man, that women at that age, 28 to 35, that they feel that they gotta get into something immediately and not waste their time. Like, as men, you guys know this. We talk about it all the time during guy talk. So like, I think it's important to get into like understanding this, so we at least respect women enough not to waste their time. You gotta be honest with them, and also you gotta be honest with yourself, man. Be honest with them so you can avoid them being depressed, and be honest with yourself so you can avoid yourself being depressed. I know the challenges though. Like, I know, like, if you're 20s or whatever, or you're 30, early 30s, and you tell a woman straight up that you never know what the future holds, she's probably going to say like, she's probably going to hear that honesty and like not want to accept it and trust that the next person is going to be honest, and she's going to probably cut you off from being honest, and I'd rather take that risk than hurt her, yeah, so man, just take your time, 28 to 35, getting into these relationships. Take your time, figure out who you are, and then, maybe when you turn 35, get with something that matches your new role. So stuff could be okay. so stuff don't be stressful, so you not hurting anybody, so nobody's hurting you. You're gonna have a new identity, you know. Women, I hope you guys watch this and understand, but you're more than welcome, and I encourage you to like, comment, and subscribe. Please comment if you agree with me. If you don't, tell me if I sound offensive or anything like that. As always, what else? Yeah, just like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate it. Y'all, excuse me, I'm on my way to work, and you know, I've been having insomnia, so hopefully I explained things like clearly. My topic was clear, hopefully, and you know, that's why I look a little rough right now. But yeah, like, comment, and subscribe, y'all. Peace out, and have a good day, have a good week, and everything. Have a good year. Peace out.